My name is Alphonso Dasaro, and in this area in the north end, they call me Butch. My nickname Butch comes from when I was born in 1937 at the Children's Hospital. When my mother gave birth to me, the doctor actually gave me the nickname because I was 12 pounds. And when he delivered me, and my ma was, naturally, he took me out and he says, "These Rose," that was my mother's first name. He knew my mother by her first name. "What a big Butch you have there." And that name stuck with me ever since I was born. But growing up in the North End, everybody has a nickname. I was fortunate to get a nickname when I was born. Usually you gotta wait to get a nickname. Like across the street over here, a lot of friends of mine that I went to school with, Joey and Sammy Ferracano, they were twins. Not identical twins, but they were twins. And one was called Gunga Din because he used to climb walls and drink a lot of water. And if you know Gunga Din, that's a movie. And the other one was called the Spinny Joe because he was a funny kid. Funny kid. How you doing? Skinny?
Trying to keep up with you,
How you been? Everything all right? It was smaller than that with a lamppost in the middle, which was the only lamppost in the street. We used to light up all of North Square. And that's where we used to play cards, right there. And we used to wait for the buses to come from Haymarket Square, and they would come up and park right alongside here, and they let us on, the bus drivers, to say the history of Port Revere. And then we would have our flat caps on. I don't know what kind of caps they call them. And we had our knickers on. And after we say the history of Port Revere, we used to put money in the hat. Went up to $10, $12. You know what that was? And there'd be like 50 kids. And each guy would have 5 kids. One leader would have 5 on it. And whatever money they made, we used to split up. And we used to smoke cigarettes. They were 6 years old, 7 years old. We were street kids. And we split the money and then take it home. We would never fight over it. Everybody had a turn. And every bus driver had their favorite guy, kids that they liked. We all knew about it. There must have been 20 bus drivers. Today they wear dungarees or Levi's with holes in them. They buy them for $100, $150. In those days, we had a patch. It was unheard of to walk around with a hole on your knee or the back. Our mothers would be sewing patches on. And it's just unreal. It was just unreal. And we just took that street life or that city living just for granted. That was our ordinary thing. With a lot of memories in it. We used to play all kinds of games in the street here, the square, kick the can, and Levio, and buck how many fingers up, you jump on the back. Right now we're on North Street. This is where we moved to when I was about 6 years old. We're looking in the building in the background where my grandmother and grandfather came from Sicily, Palermo, in the early years of the 1900s. They migrated to New York, and from New York, they came here, and this is the building they lived in. 282 North Street. My grandmother and grandfather had 10 children. It was 4 boys and 6 girls. And they were all born in this apartment building, in the room, in the house, in a 2-bedroom that they lived in. Wooden floors, 1 stove. It was amazing what our grandparents, and fathers and mothers lived in. There's fire escapes in the back, in that alleyway. And in the summertime, we used to sleep on the fire escapes. With my mother used to put some blankets, and it would be too hot to sleep in the house. There was no air conditioning those days, just fans. And that's where we used to sleep, either there or on the rooftops if it was cooler. And in that apartment building was 16 families. There was 2 one, two, three, 4 floors, and there was 4 families on each floor. And each family had one toilet, not a bathroom, a toilet, with the old box and chain thing and a wooden seat